Good evening, everybody. Welcome to concert number 4. Glad you can join us wherever you might be. Guess you could be anywhere in the world these days, as long as you got a good internet connection. Let's jump right into it. This is a great song that Gershwin wrote back in 1937. And a lot of things going on these days for sure, but hey, this title is appropriately named and fitting, called "They Can't Take That Away From Me" by George Gershwin. The way you wear your hat, the way you sip your tea, the memory of all that. No, they can't take that away from me. The way your smile just beams, the way you sing off key, the way you haunt my dreams. No, no, they can't take that away from me. We may never, never meet again on that bumpy road to love. Still I always, always keep the memory of the way you hold your knife, the way we danced till 3, the way you changed my life. No, no, they can't take that away from me. No, they can't take that away from me. The way you wear your hat, the way you sip your tea, the memory of all that. No, no, they can't take that away from me. The way your smile just beams, the way you sing off key, the way you hurt my dream. No, no, they can't take that away from me. We may never, never meet again on that bumpy road. Still I always, always keep the memory of the way you hold your knife, the way you danced till 3, the way you changed my life. No, no, they can't take that away from me. No, they can't take that away. They can't take that away. They can't take that away from me. Yeah, thank you. I added a couple things in there, as you may have noticed. Kind of trying to keep it fun. Next up, I'm going to go to the first song that I ever learned as a solo jazz piano player. I was at St. Olaf College in Northfield, Minnesota, and I was doing classical music, and the jazz thing kind of was getting big into education at that point, and I was really kind of getting hooked on it, and I wanted to study it, so I did. And this song was the first piece I was ever given. It was written by Horace Silver in 1965, and it's called "Song for My Father," and it was inspired by a trip that Horace Silver had made to Brazil. And another thing that this song always brings up, other than it was the first jazz tune I ever learned, is I had a great student named Brad Saylor that worked on this tune, and I've never seen anyone be so devoted to working on a song like that. And he got it. He figured it out and got it. And it was inspiring as a teacher to watch. So it was a great memory this song has. Hope you enjoy Song for My Father. Yeah, thank you. And again, thanks for everyone watching out there. I know Father's Day is coming up, so I got a few songs in the set tonight that have the word father in them, like that one, Song to My Father. And that beat on that song was something at the time back in the 60s called the bossa nova beat, which means the new wave or the new sound. And it was this kind of hip style that was coming during the 60s out of Brazil. And if you remembered what I was doing with my left hand, that's the bossa beat, which seems simple enough. It is on its own, but when you combine everything else in there, that gets real tricky. Sometimes being a piano player is about coordination more than anything else. So you'll hear more of that later. And next up, I'm going to go to a tune. This was written, another Gershwin song, written in 1935 for the opera Porgy and Bess. It's been recorded differently over 25,000 times. And it's really become a jazz standard and a standard in lots of areas of music. Very fitting to play and adapt to different styles. It's fun to improvise on it. So maybe, we'll see what happens, because every time I do this kind of thing, it's always different. This is Summertime, written by George Gershwin. summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich, and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. Yes, you'll spread your wings, and you'll take to the sky. But until that morning, there's nothing can harm you. With Daddy and Mammy standing by. Summertime, and the living is easy. The fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich, and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Don't you cry. Don't you cry. Yeah, thank you. A great song, gives you a lot of freedom to improvise, as you could see I was doing. Another great improviser, speaking of improvisers, and hey, we're in a church, so one of the best improvisers ever, maybe the original jazz improviser, was J.S. Bach. And one of the stories I like to tell about him is that he actually got in trouble from his church for improvising too much. Some of you repeat customers for my show might remember that story from before. But he really liked to take off on the hymns, and sometimes so much that people couldn't really sing along that well. So I'm going to do one of his preludes in B-flat major, and a lot of times when people play these, they're good. You know, I've watched a lot of performances of them, but a lot of times they're really straight and robotic, and they get kind of boring. So I'm going to, in the spirit of Bach, sort of embellish a little bit with some of the arrangement of it. I hope you enjoy Bach's Prelude 21 in B-flat major. originally meant for the harpsichord, so not much room on a harpsichord for interpretation, but on the piano, you can do a lot of stuff. Speaking of B flat, I'm going to do one of the songs, a favorite song of my youth, and a song that I remember as a kid being pretty popular in cars driving around. It was written in 1981 by a very fine country singer. It went to #1 on the Billboard's country chart. Yes, we're gonna do some country music in the church. It went to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, and it went to #1 on the Adult Contemporary chart. It got Grammy Award for Best Female Country Vocal Performance, Grammy Award for Best Country Song. I'm getting tired of the awards. One of the cool things about this song is the beginning. Do you recognize this? Anybody? Another hint. It was the only song at the time, anyway, that featured the sound of a typewriter in it. And it was made by this fine country singer's acrylic fingernails, drumming back and forth on each other. Yes, you guessed it. It's Dolly Parton's 9 to 5. What can follow up Bach better than Dolly Parton? Out of bed and I stumble in the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch, try to come to life. I jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping. Out on the street, the traffic starts jumping. The folks like me on the job from 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living. Barely getting by, it's all taken and no giving. They just use your mind and they never give you credit. It's enough to drive you crazy if you let it. 9 to 5 for service and devotion. You would think that I would deserve a fair promotion. Want to move ahead, but the boss won't give you credit. I swear sometimes that the man is out to get me. Dolly Parton's got a high voice too, I'll tell you that. They let you dream just to watch them shatter. You're just a step on the boss man's ladder, but you got dreams he'll never take away. You're in the same boat with a lot of your friends, waiting for the day your ship will come in and the tide's gonna turn and it's all gonna roll your way. You're working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living. Getting by, it's all taken and no giving. They just use your mind and they never give you credit. It's enough to drive you crazy if you let it. Out of bed and I stumble in the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch, try to come to life. I jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping. Out on the street the traffic starts jumping. The folks like me on the job from 9 to 5. They're working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living. Barely getting by, ain't no taking and no giving. They just use your mind and they never give you credit. It's enough to drive you crazy if you let it. 9 to service and emotion. You would think that I would deserve a fair promotion. Won't you move ahead? But the boss don't seem to let me. I swear sometimes the man is out to get me. Yeah, thank you. That was a lot of fun. Pretty cool song. Kind of a bluesy number. I had the privilege of going to Dollywood a couple summers ago. I don't know if y'all, that's right, I said it, y'all. Kind of wears on you being down here a little bit. It's either y'all or you guys, and I kind of get them mixed up. But anyway, Dollywood is a very cool place if you're into some wholesome entertainment. And next up, I'm going to tune it down a little bit. I'm going to go back to the 1700s to one of my favorite classical composers, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And this is a piece, one of his more popular vocal pieces. I'm going to do it on piano. And interesting thing about this is that Mozart only composed the first 8 measures of this before his death. And fittingly, this is from his Requiem Mass, and it's called Lacrimosa, which is Latin for weeping, is one of the definitions. Again, taken from his Requiem Mass in 1791. He only wrote the first 8 measures, and it was finished by one of his students. Hope you enjoyed that. A beautiful piece. If you ever get a chance, go online and listen to the full orchestra and choir. It's amazing. It's just amazing. And one of the things I noticed when I was playing that song, kind of from the teaching I've been doing, is, I point out to the students all these different things in the music. And one of them is the key that a piece is written in. This one was written in a minor key. And there's a thing in music, it's called the Picardy third. And that happens when, at the end of a piece, it suddenly goes minor. And there's probably a fancier definition than that, but I don't know it. So on this piece, let me just do the end of it again. Now it's major. So that's kind of typical. A song will be a minor, very sad, and then it ends happy. So I thought, hey, what if you reversed it? So you had, I don't know what you'd call it, but the third went minor at the end instead of major. It's not as appealing, but it's kind of interesting. So I thought I'd take a couple little ditties and try that. So let's say here's Happy Birthday with a third at the end turned to minor. Yeah, it doesn't work so good, but it's kind of funny. Here's one. I used to actually do this when I was a kid in high school. Shows how far I've come. Yeah, there's probably a reason why that never caught on very much. It sort of deflates the musical intent. Yes, this is great, and this is awful. Usually we don't want that. So just a little aside, thank you for letting me indulge in that. Next up, I am going to do a piece that, again, was in the kind of some of the first songs I learned as a jazz player. I'm going to incorporate the bossa nova beat. And if you remember, that is the new beat, the new style that came out of Brazil. One of the most famous composers in this style is Antonio Carlos Jobim. And he wrote a great tune called Corcovado, which is the mountain in Rio de Janeiro. Yes, the mountain in Rio de Janeiro that has the giant statue of Jesus on it. And this song Jobim wrote in 1960 about a mountain and a love and a girl and all that stuff. I hope you enjoy Corcovado. Quiet nights and quiet stars, quiet chords from my guitars, floating on a silence that surrounds us. Quiet thoughts and quiet dreams, quiet walks by quiet streams, and a window looking on the mountains and the sea. How lovely, this is where I want to be. Here with you, so close to me, until the final flicker of life's ember. I was lost and lonely, believing life was only a bitter, tragic joke I found with you. The meaning of existence, my love. a tragic joke I found with you. The meaning of existence, my love. A great old song, nice relaxing tune. When it's hot out like it is, I don't know where it is, what it's like in your area, but it's getting pretty hot here in Virginia. So we're gonna do a little audience participation, and I have my, so funny, my lovely assistant and tech guru and amazing wife, Sarah, will be monitoring the comments section, which is right below the screen that you're viewing. And what I'm gonna do is give you a couple tunes. We kind of did a little bit of this last time. I'm gonna give you a couple tunes and some styles, and you all have to combine them and tell me what to do. What? Oh, that's right. I just give you the song. You have to come up with the style. See, that's more pressure on me. They'll be like, I want Gregorian chant / Metallica. So these are the two songs you get to pick from. They're totally cheesy, but that's okay. One is Yankee Doodle. Yankee Doodle or Pop Goes the Weasel. Now you can pick, this is a risk. You can pick any style you want, and I will make it happen. That's right. Or I won't pick that one, and you'll never know. So anyway, Sarah will be taking the requests on the comment page while I do a hymn medley. And again, since it's getting close to Father's Days, I also have a dedication coming up to my grandfather, Herbert Franzen. But first, a hymn medley I put together of 3 songs that refer to our Heavenly Father. I thought that'd be appropriate. So while you guys are thinking up some crazy things for me to play, I'm going to play 3 of my favorite hymns that reference our Holy Father. last one was This Is My Father's World. Pretty popular hymn. The middle one I played was 500 years old. Pretty cool, written by Martin Luther back in, oh boy, somewhere around 1500. We're gonna go with that. And the first one, of course, was Children of the Heavenly Father. So, let's check out what I got in store for me. Hopefully you guys were somewhat forgiving. The first one, drum roll please. And the first one is, oh wait, do I have to pick two?
Well,
I got a style.
oh, that's what has a style?
So I'll do the style I'll pick the song. John Philip Sousa March from somebody named Tammy. Reminds me of Christmas Eve. Is there a Tammy here? The John Philip Sousa March, which we'll put with Pop Goes the Weasel. How about that? Definitely a world premiere. Thank you for that great recommendation, Tammy. And congratulations. Oh, wait. She just had a baby shower, so I'm getting mixed up. But soon. Yes, soon. Okay, next. Ooh, this is a good one. Jazz and hip hop. Ooh. Oh boy. Oh boy. Jazz and hip hop. We're going to put that one with Yankee Doodle. He was a real hipster. I think that was hip-hop, jazzy, kinda, sorta. If they steal that bass riff, let me know if you hear it on the radio. All right, that was pretty wild. That was the jazzy, hip-hoppy, Yankee Doodly guy. So next, this is a pretty cool story. My grandfather, Herbert Franzen, was an amazing piano player. And I didn't know him for that long. He died when I was younger. I remember hearing him play. I remember seeing him fish. I remember him laughing a lot. And those are pretty cool things to remember about somebody. I remember his cabin. That's probably one of the things I remember the most. It was the coolest cabin, and there was a room in there full of buttons. I remember that. Remember buttons when people wore buttons? Like with sayings on them or political things? He had a super cool cabin at Lake Jenny in Minnesota. He was a great piano player. He had a hardware store. He was a great fisherman. We found lots of fish in his freezer. I remember that too. But my dad he sent me this a couple weeks ago. My dad is David Franzen. He lives in Darwin, Minnesota, home to the largest ball of twine, if any of you all are interested. My dad sent me a song list that he found of Grandpa Herb's. And it was the coolest thing. It was handwritten. I mean, it was a copy that I got scanned, but it was a handwritten list, and there's, 70 songs on there, or 50 songs. So I started learning some of them. There's a lot, and I took 3 of them that I could handle, and I put them together, and they are Sweet Lorraine is the first one I'm going to do. Sweet Lorraine was written in 1928 by Cliff Burrell and Mitchell Parrish. But anyway, it was a popular song, a jazz standard back in the day. I hope you enjoy my version of Sweet Lorraine. I just found joy, and I'm as happy as a baby boy, with another brand new choo-choo toy. When I'm with my sweet Lorraine, a pair of eyes that are bluer than the summer skies. When you see them, you will realize why I love my sweet Lorraine. When it's raining, I don't miss the sun, for it's in my sweetie smile. Just to think that I'm the lucky one who will lead her down the aisle. I pray that nobody steals her heart away. Can't wait until that happy day when I marry sweet Lorraine. A great old song. Another one, my grandfather was great in that sense. Another song my grandfather liked to do is called the Alley Cat Song, written by Bent Fabric. Is that right? Yes, Bent Fabric, I guess. It won the Grammy Award for Best Rock and Roll Recording in 1962. Here is the Alley Cat Song. Pussycat song. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Look that up online sometime. It's a pretty unique rendition they do back in the 60s. I got one more of my grandfather's tunes off of his list as soon as I find it in my book. And this one, it's got a super cool story behind it, so I'll tell a little bit about it. Hopefully I won't mess it up. But this was written in 1947, kind of sat around for a while, and the British invasion started. The Beatles were hitting the scene. It was in the 60s. Dean Martin was doing some kind of crooner type tunes, but he hadn't had a top 40 hit since 1958. So this was like 1964 or so, I think, when the Beatles came. And Dean Martin had a son, and his son was all crazy about the Beatles, you know, all this rock and roll stuff. Well, Father Dean, wasn't having none of it. And he was recorded as telling his kid, "I'm gonna knock your pallies off the charts." And he did. On August 15th, 1964, he recorded "Everybody Loves Somebody," and it knocked the Beatles' "A Hard Day's Night" off the #1 slot on the Billboard. Pretty cool. It ended up going to the #1 of the Billboard Hot 100 and the Pop Standard Singles chart for 8 weeks. So here's one of my grandfather's favorite tunes off of his list, "Everybody Loves Somebody." Everybody loves somebody sometimes. Everybody falls in love somehow. Something in your kiss just told me my sometime is now. Everybody finds somebody someplace. There's no telling where love may appear. Something in my heart keeps saying my someplace is here. If I had it in my power, I'd arrange for every girl to have your charms. Then every minute of every hour, everybody would find what I found in your arms. Everybody loves somebody sometime. And though my dreams were overdue, your love made it well worth waiting for someone like you. Thank you, Dad, for sending me that list. And thank you, Grandpa, for sending some jeans down the line to help me play piano. Much appreciated. A real tribute, some of our songs that I've been going through this evening to our fathers out in the world. We need it more than ever these days. Lastly, we're to the last piece. I want to thank you all for I was going to say, thanks for coming, but I guess you really didn't go anywhere, unless you're driving around in your car, perhaps. But thanks for tuning in, for listening, for watching. I really appreciate the support you've given me. I'm going to end with a medley I put together. I call it the Fiddler Medley. This was a Broadway musical back in 1964 by Jerry Bach, set in Imperial Russia, the Ruskies, 1905. The first musical ever to surpass 3,000 performances. It won 9 Tony Awards and was the 16th longest running show in Broadway history. So here we go with my medley of tunes from Fiddler on the Roof. to save that till the end. That was pretty fun. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Keep a smile on your face out there. Keep a song in your heart. And stay happy and healthy. And I'll see you next time. Take care.